And that was Tim Mason from London, just finishing off his run in his Honda Prelude. Next on the course, Ron Freeman in his A Street Prepared Datsun 240Z. Ron Freeman has run a previous best time of 47.7. And I don't believe that's good enough in the A Street Prepared category. He's got some tough competition in that class here today. Still a lot of smoke coming out from under Ron's car. I think he must have an oil leak onto the headers. Just hope that he is not dropping too much of whatever's leaking onto the headers onto the track.
Yeah, he was doing that earlier. I figured he had it fixed, but it doesn't look like it.
No. The high RPM he's running, he just could be pumping it out the vent.
Well, that's what I was thinking. With the high loads on the corners and whatnot,
and he
very
does
easy
rev
to do
that car fairly high.
Well, when you want to win, you'll do everything.
Yes, that's true. Up next, car 12 is Dr. Derek Boone from London in his 72 Datsun 240Z.
Really feels like it's cooling down out here.
Yeah, the wind died down earlier, the clouds all disappeared and the sun came out, but now that wind seems to have picked up again. Just when we were getting the asphalt nice and warm, it's going to cool off again on us.
That's good for everybody's engine, though. Make a little more power.
Yes. Especially these guys with their Mazda 2-strokes.
That's right. Well, looks like we're making our marshal change now. I got out of my stint pretty easy, didn't I?
Yes.
Yeah, that appears to be what the problem is. We're trying to round up marshals. This late stage of the day, a lot of people have broken cars or have left early, and it's hard to get people to come out and work.
Yeah, that's the thing about this sport. It's all by volunteers, so we need the people that, when they're not racing, to come out and shag pylons or do specific duties in the course of a day.
There are a lot of people that do a lot of work behind the scenes that no one really sees.
That's right.
Timing and scoring and whatnot.
Yeah, all on a volunteer basis. So if there's anybody out there watching this show and you're interested in the sport, but you really don't have a car that you want to compete in, come on out. We can get you trackside, a good view of the track and the competition, and you can help out the club and help the sport.
Might add that afterwards they can even go out for rides in some of the cars with the other drivers.
That's right.
I think most of us are always willing to show off afterwards with somebody in the car.
That's right. Either show off or try and scare them silly.
Dr. Buchner's got a very good split time coming up.
Yes. Very smooth driver. He's...
You know, I imagine being a physician and racing cars, there's a lot of parallels.
Yes.
You have to be precise. A 49.2. Unfortunately, he hit the end pylon.
That's a DNF.
Automatically loses him his score. That's what happens, though. You try and drive really hard through the timing beam, and sometimes you just can't stop in time.
That's right, and you have to stop for that end pylon.
It's not there as a niggly little rule either. It's really there as a safety item.
That's right. When you cross the finish line, you have to have your car under control and brake and stop the car. You know, we've seen instances at other events where cars have come through the end pylon, and had there not been a safety barrier or something there could have been serious damage or injury.
That's right.
John Theocaris on the course.
Well, round she goes.
Yeah.
The Mustangs are famous for that, aren't they?
Yeah, you get on the throttle just a bit too soon or a little too hard on the brakes, and they switch ends.
Around she goes. Where she stops, nobody knows.
And John decided to call that a run.
Yeah. Next up is Helen Grant, sister to our co-host J.R. Grant.
I personally taught her how to drive.
And according to John, he personally taught her everything she knows.
Now we have the John Grant School of Driving.
That's right.
Amen.
Helen comes out. She has been consistently moving her times down.
Helen's a very smooth driver. All she needs to get now is just that little bit more aggressive. But her line there through this end part was excellent. Right up to the edge of the pylons.
Yes, when you're cutting the pylons nice and close, there's a fine line between a good line and a bad line.
That's right.
It's just comes from experience and practice.
And more practice.
And more practice. Yeah, you have to hit pylons to know where they are.
That's right. If you don't hit them every once in a while, you're not trying hard enough. If you don't spin out every once in a while, you're not trying hard enough. Excellent time for Helen, unofficially, a 48.6.
Well, that's not
It's
quite
not
as good as her last run. She had a 48.4 on her previous run.
Well, at least she's consistent.
Yes. Next up is Nick King in his 76 Corvette. Nick is from London. Sponsored by Bandito Video.
Yeah, Nick seems to have been having a little trouble today, just getting the handling sorted out in this car.
Well, this is his first event out, and it's nice to see new people into the sport.
That's
I
right.
hope he comes out to some of our other club events where maybe the seasoned competitors can spend a bit of time with him. At the national championships, it's not a good time to be out for your first event.
No. We should probably mention for people considering building up their cars, the first thing you do is the suspension. Then you get into the engine.
Yes, that's right. You have to have the handling before you get the power. And just for somebody wanting to dabble a little bit about the most important thing you can do to your car is put on a good set of tires and possibly a set of wheels, a little bit of offset, maybe a little wider tire than or rim than comes stock.
Well, we got a time 59.7.
Well, I think Nick will be happy with that. He's running in the 59.4 range, so staying within his time range. Up now is Mike Finnegan in his Honda Prelude.
Mike has had some really good times so far today.
Yeah, 49.4 in his last run, and prior to that, a 49.4 as well with a pylon.
Consistent.
Consistent. And
you'll find that the really good drivers are fast right out of the box, and they stay pretty well that way all day.
Yeah, they vary a couple of tenths, and that's about it.
Personally, I've changed about a second and a half today.
Yeah, unfortunately, so have I, but I've changed the wrong way.
Uh-oh. Faster in the beginning and slower at the end.
That's right. Fast run right off the bat, and then slowed her down.
Well, oftentimes that happens. As the heat comes up, your engine isn't making quite as much power, and you start just going backwards all day.
That's right.
It's frustrating, though, because you're probably driving better at the end of the day.
Oh, you know the course better, you know exactly what you want to do, but you can't seem to get the car to do it.
Another 49.4 for Mike.
Boy, Mr. Consistency here today.
Flip a coin, which one is it, Derek or Chick or Chris?
This is Derek Chick, number 17. Derek's a member of the Western Ontario Sports Car Association.
He's treasurer, I believe, too, isn't he?
Yes, he is, and he is also very much off course. He has started out doing his second lap first. He is going to be very mad at himself for that.
That's right. He'll just put the first lap in now, call it even.
No, he's ignored the first lap altogether.
Hopefully no one will notice he's trying to cut his time by a third.
He's going to come in with a time of about 35 seconds. We'll see how astute the marshals are here. We've picked up the off course.
37 flat.
37 flat. That's fastest time of the day.
Yeah, very good, Derek. Well done. I'm sure that'll win him a national title.
Yes, if somebody doesn't protest it.
Well, good thing we got it all here on tape.
Yep, we've got it all on tape, and if we can just splice in the first lap, and Well, we'll see what we can do. Out on the course now, my teammate for the day, Sharon Nightingale, in the Acura West Acura Light Integra.
That was a mouthful.
It was. Sharon is a member of the Western Ontario Sports Car Association, and her husband is the chief organizer for today's national event.
He's done a really good job, too.
An excellent job, yes.
He gave up his own afternoon. He didn't compete today to put on the event.
Well, I think he kind of realized that he'd be busy organizing the event, and I know in the past I've organized an event and tried to compete, and you're just not up to par.
No.
You've got too many things to think about, especially an event of this caliber.
We can all bug him, though, and say that he was worried that Sharon would beat him. Something I always wondered, whether the husband and wife teams, if they have any bets, like who does the dishes afterwards?
Yeah.
Well, how do you do with your wife, Debbie, when you used to run together? A 52 flat.
52 flat, that's Sharon's best time of the day.
Well done,
over
Sharon.
half a second. Well, and Debbie and I were running the formula car together. There really were no side bets. Just the fact that maybe to see if she could even, get within a second or so, and she did that quite frequently. So now we've got to get her behind the wheel of the killer Mustang when we get it back on the track.
All right.
David Faria out in the course. I think I've said that wrong, but anyway, driving his 79 Chevy Camaro Berlinetta. He runs in the C Street Prepared category.
Yeah, perhaps, Neil, you can explain to us how the different categories are built up.
I started talking about that earlier. Any modification that's done to the car is given a certain point value according to the rule book, and the different categories are allowed to do so many points for the cars. I'll give you a couple of examples on this C Street Prepared car. Oh, he didn't fill out his preparation point schedule on the back, but sway bars are assigned a point each. Suspension modifications are 3 points. Engine modifications are 4 points. Changing of a carburetor is anywhere from 2 to 4 points. And it goes on like that. And stock category vehicles are allowed 1 preparation point. Super stock category cars are allowed
3 to 6 depending
3 to 6 depending on which base class it comes from.
Right.
And street prepared cars are allowed up to 19 preparation points, and modified cars are allowed any amount of modification as long as they meet the wheelbase and track width
and
rules
safety
requirements, of course.
Andy Rosenberg on the course right now.
Yes, driving his Toyota Supra. It's a 1982, running on Yokohama tires.
This car really doesn't look like an 82, though, does it?
No.
Keeps it in really nice shape.
Very good shape, yes.
But when you're in the bodywork industry,
I guess your car has to look the best.
Yeah, it does.
Well, Craig, I'll leave you, and I'll be back shortly. I've got one more run to make, and we'll see if we can get this Integra working just a little better.
Well, good luck, Neil.
Thank you.
Joining us shortly will be John Grant, J.R. Grant as he likes to be called. Mike Taylor out on the course right now in his MG. Mike's MG's got an 1800cc engine. He's running on Yokohama P195 6014 tires. What do you say to that, John?
It's a great day for racing.
Great day.
Great day, yes.
Sorry, folks, that's a little inside joke. As long as he doesn't start up with his Hans and Franz, we'll be okay.
Well, the sun is getting to me a little bit here, Craig. It certainly is a nice day.
Sure is. I've been burnt. My arms are pretty well done. Michael's really progressed, though. He's been in the sport for about 2 years, and each day that he comes out, he seems to get a little bit better and a little bit quicker.
Definitely. I've watched him at a few of the Waska events, and he seems to be a lot smoother these days than, say, even at the beginning of this season. Yeah,
we just turned a 52-2, and in a car like he's driving, that's very respectable.
Absolutely.
Who's up next?
And it's Mr. Paul Gage, a member of TAC, the Toronto Autosport Club. He is running Dodge Omni GLH. It's a 1985. He's running on BF Goodrich tires, size 195 50/15. The Omni GLHs are a pretty competitive car, especially the turbo version. are they all turbos?
No, they're not all turbos.
They're not all turbos.
There is a turbo version.
Interesting.
We both have a good friend, Tony McGrath, who runs one that is very competitive.
Oh, he may be a friend of yours, Craig, but he is certainly no friend of mine, I tell you. He's more affectionately known as that guy from last year.
Yeah. Either that or Target.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I missed the time on Paul.
Okay, we'll have that available for you shortly, though.
Show and go coming up right now.
Oh, absolutely. Mr. Gordon Walker, I do believe he is holding on to fastest time of the day, if I'm not...
Yes, he is.
Okay.
He's running the SO Protect Corvette.
Had it a little bit sideways there.
Yeah, Joe will press it as hard as he possibly can.
Yeah.
We had a police officer have a radar reading down the back straight a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
They got Gordon at 107 kilometers an hour.
My goodness, and like if you were here today and you saw the actual distance of the straightaway, and you can figure coming out of the corner and getting up to that speed, that is just quite phenomenal.
Yes, it is.
He's got just a couple of ponies under that hood.
And he must be feeding him the good stuff, because you can actually smell the fuel that he's using.
Oh, I'm having a great time.
My unofficial time of 46.52, that's slower than what he did previously.
Yeah, I don't really think he's going to have to go too much faster to win here today.
No. It's Mike Patterson out on the course right now.
Okay, he's running in car number 24 in the A Street Repair category. He's running in a 1981 Mazda RX-7. That's turbocharged and intercooled, sponsored by Klein Auto Repair, right here in London. Mike used to run in a blue Datsun 240Z, or was that a 280, Craig?
It's a 240.
It was a 240, okay.
As soon as this deal came up, though, that car got put up on blocks. That's right.
History that car is now.
This car is an absolute blast to drive. Third gear, it will lay rubber just by stepping on it.
And that's quite impressive, considering that the rotary engine doesn't necessarily have what you would call torque.
No, it doesn't. A 47.5. Something must be going on, because Mike should be much quicker and has gone much quicker. So perhaps the heat and whatnot and the repeated runs, his engine might be losing some power.
Could be. And Mr. Reg Fonseca. Fonseca. Okay, car number 25 in the A Superstock category. He's running on Yokohama 008Rs. 205-6013. Also sponsored by Klein Auto Repair. Right here in London. And there is a slight delay. And Craig, do you have any idea what is happening out there?
Freak hailstorm.
Freak hailstorm, correct.
Right. Oh, we're back on the way.
And Reg is on his way here.
I believe Reggie's got a header and exhaust on this car.
Mm-hmm.
I hope he's not running stock.
No, he's in Superstock.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
The RX-7s are really neat, because you can tell just about everything you've done to them by the sound.
Definitely. They're very easy to distinguish exactly what's been done to the car just by listening to them.
That's right.
Classic example is Steve Rosenberg's car. As soon as he downshifts, a 6-foot flame comes up.
That's right.
There, yes.
I remember it picked in Cartway a year ago, and it was starting to dusk, and big flames pouring out the back.
Yes. It's a lot of fun driving behind him on the highway, let me tell you.
Yeah. Well, I've got some videotape of Helen Grant's car sending flames out the back at Watkins Glen.
Oh, yeah? Oh, we'll have to take a look at that.
Time of 47.5. Quite a good run.
Okay. And now up is our co-host, Mr. Neil Lang, car number 26 in the Acura Integra LS.
Sponsored by Acura West.
Again, right here in London. And we'll see what kind of time Neil can pull off here.
Yeah, he's really getting that car to go around that first turn.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people might see that the car is doing a great deal of leaning, but that's not necessarily bad.
Yeah, that's loading up the suspension quite well.
That's right. You need some weight transfer onto the front tires so that they'll grip.
Especially in the front-wheel drive car.
That's right. Many people have probably noticed as well some of the front-wheel drive cars are picking up the inside rear wheel right off the ground.
Yes.
That's just a normal mode for those cars. Mm-hmm. All the weight load goes to the front outside tire.
Are we getting a time on...
Sure we are.
Okay.
A 49.73. Excellent time.
Very good.
Any car that breaks 50 today is doing a good job.
I think so. Oh, well, thank you, Craig.
Hey, you did a heck of a job.
Oh, I just let you win. I'll do anything for $5. And out on the course, Mr. Steve Rosenberg.
Another rotary.
Yes, nicknamed a Torch.
The Torch?
The Torch, yes.
Why, does it blow up?
No, it shoots 6-foot flame.
Oh, right.
Yes.
My brain is fried. It's too hot.
And Steve has told me prior to his run that he's going after the record this time, so we'll see whether or not he can actually do it.
Knowing Steve, he can do it.
Oh, the car. Oh, well, maybe not. That might still be hanging in the box. I don't know. He did touch that pylon, though.
We've got the down and out rule. It has to be completely out of the box for there to be a penalty.
Doesn't look like there's going to be a penalty.
No, he's got an excellent time coming up. Unofficially, a 46.0.
Oh, that could be interesting. That might just be the half a second he needed to get the record.
Yeah, excellent run by Steven.
But he didn't catch Gord Walker's fastest time of the day.
That's awfully hard to do.
Absolutely. And up next in the 1988 Alfa Romeo Milano, car number 28, driven by David Norwood, running on Michelin tires. And we'll see what's causing a slight delay here in getting the runs off.
Well, perhaps the timer was a little bit messed up, but everything's going well now.
Okay, and the Alpha's out on the course now. Seems to be taking it a little bit easier than the last time it was out. I don't hear the engine
on the rev limiter. Yeah. Yes. Well, before he was running it on the rev limiter all the time. A lot of people are probably thinking, you know, there's a $40,000 car out there and he's beating it up. But really, when you hit the rev limiter, it's not hurting anything.
True.
That's why they have the rev limiter.
Yes, the cars that they're building today certainly can take quite a bit of punishment.
Mine is a testament to that. I think my Mustang has probably seen the most severe duty of.
I would think so.
Of any of them.
So, like, if it could talk, that's
53 seconds flat.
Not too bad. And up next, Mr. Jose Kenbrell, running on Yokohama 88Rs.
On the CRX SI.
Okay, and as soon as this car has finished its rounds, we're going to take a short break. And this is all being brought to you by McLean Hunter Community Programming. And I would very much like to thank them very much. They're doing a super job today.
Yeah, all these people are volunteers and they're doing a great job. It's hot out here.
Very. And Jose's turning in, looks like a very good time here. Nice and tight.
He's done a good job all day. Those cars are very interesting to drive.
Very much so.
Very nimble car.
Oh, he lost a little bit of time around that back corner there. Let's see if he can make it up. Comes in a little bit hard around that corner, too.
I missed the time, but we'll get some more later. Okay. Stay tuned with us at McLean Hunter Cable TV.